Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Tobacco Talk Tuesdays. Caitlin here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some tips for creating your own quit plan. And these will be a couple different ideas, examples, and of course, some additional resources. And it can be whether you've already set your quit date or if you're still thinking about when you want that to happen, the tip will apply. A couple housekeeping reminders before we get started. Questions, comments, anytime during this live stream, if you're watching it live, or even if you're watching a replay later on, feel free to put a comment below and we'll try to answer your questions if we're able. Also, check out those comments below for additional resources related to today's video. So before we kind of get into the tips, why bother having a plan and what is a quit plan? Well, a quit plan is exactly what it sounds like. It's a plan for quitting your tobacco use, and it's helpful to navigate your attempt when things start to feel challenging, but it's also helpful in reminding yourself about the good parts of your quit attempt as well. And even though today's live stream is geared around the development of a quit plan specifically, I want to put out a reminder that a reduction plan is just as important. A lot of people might not feel fully ready to quit, and that's totally okay. Quitting can feel really intimidating, whether it be because of past quit attempts or a lack of past quit attempts, or even people just don't really want to. A lot of people would prefer to reduce and maybe never quit, and that's all right too. These tips are going to work just as well for any reduction plans or any reduction goals that you have. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, tip number 1, track your habits. This is going to give you an understanding of your patterns, which is then going to give you an understanding of how to cope with or counter any cravings or urges to smoke. You're going to have a better idea of what changes might need to be made or even things that you might have to avoid early on in your quit. You can use pretty much anything to do this, a notepad, a journal, a tracking sheet, old grocery receipts, your phone, anything you have, and you can just jot down when the tobacco use occurred. So if it's a frame of time or a specific time, where you were, what you were doing, and how many cigarettes or other forms of tobacco you used. And this is really going to be kind of like the basis of your entire quit plan. So if you only take one tip from today, I would really recommend this one. Number 2, list your alternatives and coping methods and keep them close. The whole point of having a plan is that you don't have to feel lost in the moment. And that's kind of what the idea of planning different coping resources and mechanisms is for. It's going to give you a go-to without having to think about what to do or stress over it. And some examples of this are, doing things like switching out tea in place of coffee. You can use grounding techniques or stress balls if you're feeling stressed. You can use fidget toys, candy, or water to keep your hands busy while you're watching TV. Or even post-meal, you might want to do something like gum, brushing your teeth, or using a coloring or puzzle book to keep your hands and mind busy. And all of those are some examples, but there's many more that you can also use. Number 3, plan ways to celebrate. This completely changes the narrative when it comes to tobacco cessation because tobacco reduction is often looked at with dread or negativity. And this gives you something to look forward to rather than just to be kind of bummed about. It doesn't have to be anything major. So some examples would be, if you've been quit for 24 hours or even just a few hours, and, you can do something like treating yourself to a favorite treat or fancy tea or coffee drink, like I probably would. Or if you've been quit longer, like weeks to a month, and you want to do something a little bigger, maybe doing dinner from your favorite restaurant or getting together with friends for dinner or a movie or something that you like to do. Anything that you can do to kind of celebrate and be really proud in your accomplishments of reaching your milestones. Number 4, identify your support. This is such a huge need, and I think it's often forgotten when it comes to building a quit plan. Who around you is going to support you on your journey? Who's going to be there when you're struggling? Who's going to be there when it's time to celebrate? Is it going to be friends, family, coworkers? Are you going to explore non-social circle options like the Michigan Quit Line? Different apps have group functions, traditional support groups, or even a tobacco treatment specialist. And number 5, utilize all of your resources. There's so many resources nowadays when it comes to tobacco reduction. There's the Quit Line, there are mobile apps, there are support groups, tobacco treatment specialists, online resources, nicotine replacement therapies, and other quit medications. And things like, the online resources with mobile apps often have features that can help you build a quit plan and track your successes, whether they be big or small. And the reason I put this in here today is that I think we have a culture of going, I can do this on my own, through my own willpower. I'm strong enough. And using resources available to you doesn't mean you aren't strong enough to quit on your own, because you are still quitting on your own. You're just planning ways to support yourself as you do it. And there's no shame in using every single resource that works for you. I'm going to kind of start wrapping up here today. And I just want to remind you guys that there's no one perfect way to quit for everyone, which can be super frustrating. But it also means if one option doesn't work, there are others available to you as well. Small successes and milestones are just as important as the big ones. So whether you've been quit for 6 months or just 20 minutes, it's a great job and congratulations. Now's the time if you are watching this live, which I don't think anyone is, but if you're watching this on replay, still feel free to send us questions or comments, or if you want to reach out directly to our team, you're welcome to as well. I want to remind you to check out the comments below, regardless of when you're watching this, for a couple different resources, including smokefree.gov's online quit plan builder, and also a couple of blogs from the Unified Tobacco team about building your own quit kit and about nicotine replacement therapy and other quit medications. Tobacco Talk Tuesdays will continue every second Tuesday of the month here on Facebook and YouTube at 2 p.m. And as always, please feel free to reach out to our team if you have any topics you might want to see, or if you have any questions, or just want to know about more what we do. You can reach out to us at the number on your screen or by calling any of our offices. Thank you guys so much for joining. Whenever you join and watch this video, we'll see you next time.